Now loading Roundup Radio.
Hey everybody, welcome to Bro-Op Radio, the podcast that is your number one source for all things Sega Dreamcast. I am your host, Tenseiken. You got something you want to say?
No, please, tell me all about the Sega Dreamcast.
I can tell you everything you need to know about the Sega Dreamcast. You have questions, ask, I will answer them after the show. That's how it works.
Right. My controller ports aren't working anymore.
Oh yeah, you're boned. Gotta get in Dreamcast.
Wow, so fucking helpful. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sega.
Hey, I have your news. I'll just tell you how it's done. Alright. Both of you shut up. I'm your host, Tenseiken. Joined as always by, jGatzB and Justice. Actually, we're a man short tonight. Chase won't be joining us. He's out of town, family stuff, Easter. It is Easter weekend as we record this, so got some things going on. But us three, we were available, so we thought we'd get together. Talk about
what even is family?
What even is family? Thought we'd get together and talk about some topics that's been circulating here recently. Actually, as a double doozy, go ahead and announce this. We're recording an episode today, this weekend, talk about some video game related stuff. And then next weekend, we actually plan on having another podcast to talk about Batman vs. Superman and Season 2 of Daredevil. And
it's going to be fun.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to that. But yeah, it's a week away, so everybody just stay patient. But yeah, so we got like a 2 week in a row here that we're aiming for. So that's a new one for us. I'm pretty excited about all that.
And we'll also say this though, for all the people who are like, where the fuck are they all video game videos? Like, we want to see y'all playing video games. It's coming. Calm down.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I'm thankful to have the fans that we have, and I'm thankful for the fans that are patient enough to stick around while we get some more content get put out.
Absolutely. So. Yeah, it's been a pretty just eventful few weeks for all of us, so we're kind of just now getting back on a regular pace with the whole group.
Absolutely.
But yeah, looking forward to getting back to it and giving you guys some more content and whatnot. So, all right, well, let's start with some comments. Jesse, you're the comment master. What you got for us today?
Oh shit! Did I forget to do that? God damn it! God, Ian. You didn't do that, did you?
I have some comments, not my fans.
Yeah, comment number one. Who the fuck hired you, Gats?
Okay, I was under the impression we were ready for that because in our podcast plan that was shared between all of us, it says comments. We got some. So I just assumed, all right, well, we're ready to go with the comment section. All right, so do we just need to revisit this or just save them till next week?
I'm ready. I'm super ready. Yeah, we have a great deal of comments to discuss because we just recently put out a new video that was our most popular video yet. Like, kind of blew us away, to be completely honest. So we have a great number of new fans coming in. We got 100+ new subscribers, and a lot of them have shit to say. So I'm here to go ahead and share some of that. Number one, we got Creepy Productions, who has commented before, who wants to let us know he still thinks it's weird as hell that we have so few subs and followers and views, and that our podcasts are unusually low too. So wants to know if we were doing any promotions or anything like that. So I think this is a good time to say that any donations that we get go straight to advertisement right now. Because I feel like a lot of people have made it clear that we are funny. We are unusually funny. We're at least funny enough to make people go, what the fuck is going on? Like, why don't we have more viewers? So you want to help us? We can put that money to good use. That's what we've been doing. The Mike Berg says that we are hilarious and that he can't stop watching us. We are too fucking funny. He also mirrors Creepy's comment. Why don't you have more subs? This is some bullshit. Robo Crash wants to let us know he really enjoyed the funeral song in the last Starbound video. Low Fat Cow says, finally, people that get the point of Starbound always have fun. Linksist says, my butthole is itching for more of your Starbound antics. And I don't know if any of you caught that one. I don't exactly know how to respond, Linksist, but make sure that your butthole is well medicated. Let's see. Morvain, one of our good fans, has said, keep on keeping on, you glorious bastards, and also stop giving giant weapons to the robot. We all know how that ends.
Oh.
I don't.
I do like me some giant weapons.
In our Reddit comments, we have Will Liferider who wants to know if we were using a mod to allow us to edit animal names, and extra Mr. Do or extra Mardo, I don't know how to pronounce his name, says it's video editing. We'll always be able to name them in our hearts, but I think half the magic of the game is that their names come for your instinctual fear, not some random number. No automaton could ever compose the names Testicle Pig, Omnitron, or that Ronald McDonald bastard. Those come from the soul. So I want to thank you so much for that. Akuru says, only a little bit into the video and I have to stop myself. I need to watch the playlist in order. I also checked out one of the Magic of videos and it's definitely a subscribe for me. So thank you so much, Akuru. And then finally, a comment that makes us particularly proud. We currently actually have it put up for all of us to see when we work on things. Lurking for Answers says, that was fucking hilarious. Congratulations on making me laugh more than Game Grumps today. You're on my daily watch list now. So Thank you so much. Thank you. That honestly, like, tickled me shitless. I made me really happy to read. So more than anything, I want to remind you guys, I know I've said this before, but thank you so much for all of your kind feedback. Your comments really do give us superpowers and keep us going. And if you ever have any negative feedback, please go ahead and shove that up your ass, because no, I do want to hear your negative feedback. Like if you did that get you?
Please, just go ahead and shove that right up your ass.
No, if you don't like something we do, let us know. Like, we will confer on that and see what we can do about it. Because, like, I don't really want to be that channel that people tune in and go, oh, this is stupid too. Like, so just fill us in. We'll gladly do something about it. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I have for the comments.
Great. Yeah, well, that got me tickled right from the get-go. Oh, shit. Well, you know, I got caught up in the opening and everything, and you made the joke about forgetting your comment section. I totally forgot to even talk about what we're going to even discuss for this podcast.
That's fine.
I just said video game stuff. So yeah, what we got on the agenda for today is cross-platforming between systems. Microsoft's came out and spoken about that, and going to talk about that for a little bit. Wii U, is the Wii U dying out? Are we in the last days of the Wii U right now? Well, fuck, we're going to talk about it and see. And then, last but not least, we're going to talk about some Pokemon Go. Got some more details on Pokemon Go that's came out, and I'm pretty excited about talking about that particular subject, definitely. So, that's what we got on the agenda today. It's very, very video game related, and I kind of like that. I kind of like having just a general theme to go by for this particular episode. So, we're going to see. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about getting started with all that. Before we get started into all that, Ian, you been doing anything interesting as of late?
Man, no.
Awesome. Short but sweet.
Like you said earlier, we've all been a little busy the past 2 weeks. We've all had a lot going on. I was on staff for a convention that I was had a good time doing. It was a lot of fun. Since then, I've also I've got a Wii U now, so that's really cool.
Your timing is excellent.
Right. So I've been playing Pokken and Mario Kart on it. Pokken's really fun. And Fire Emblem. I'm still playing Fire Emblem. That's probably about it. Watched Daredevil. Watched Superman vs. Batman. We got comments on that later, but next week. But whatever. Yeah, excellent. What's me?
Cool, Jesse. What's been up in the world of jGatzB lately?
Okay, so like I've been pretty busy. Pretty busy thinking about doing editing. That's pretty much on my mind. But like, I haven't got around to a lot of editing. I got a lot of backlog footage I got to get to. But I've also been watching Daredevil. Enjoying that. I've been trying to decide whether or not I'm going to get The Division and whether or not I'm going to get Dead Souls Dark Rising. I don't know, what's it called? Dark Souls 3?
No, you were right the first time.
Okay, cool, yeah. Trying to decide whether or not I'm going to get some of these games, because at the moment, I'm not currently really playing anything. I tried to play some of Red Faction Guerrilla, because that was one of my favorite games, and I streamed that one day and nobody came out. So I think if I go back to that game, it probably won't be streamed. It'll just be me in my underwear trying to enjoy it to the best of my ability. But outside of that, I've been real busy with work, but I look forward to playing a lot of games in the future.
Excellent. Of course, as we mentioned, or as I mentioned earlier, Chase is out of town, so he'll be back next week with us to let you know about all of his adventures and whatnot as of late. As for me, more or less the same as what Ian's story was. Went to a convention a couple weeks ago, Comic-Con in Birmingham, Alabama. A lot of fun. I always enjoy going to that convention.
Oh yeah.
I've seen some movies. Seen one movie, saw Batman vs Superman, and I did binge watch the second season of Daredevil. And like we said, we'll have plenty of stuff to talk about on that front next week. Other than that, just working in the process of trying to sell the house and get moved off for bigger and better adventures. So got a busy couple of months ahead of me. A little bit nervous, but the excitement about it outweighs the nervousness. So I'm really, really pumped for what's to come.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
So hell yeah. All right. Well, without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started into our topics. Starting with the cross-platform. Microsoft, as of, I don't know, about a week ago or so, as we record this, came out and said that they were interested in the idea of cross-platform with other systems. Said they'd be open to talk about it and have a conversation and see what they can come up with. Sony kind of responded. They didn't really give a clear-cut yes or no. To actually quote Sony, they came out a couple of days ago and said, PlayStation has been supporting cross-platform play between PC on several software titles, starting with Final Fantasy XI on PS2 and PC back in 2002. They went on to say, we would be happy to have the conversation with any publishers or developers who are interested in cross-platform play. So, cool. It's cool. It's cool that they're like, yeah, we've been doing this for a while already, but they didn't say, sure, yes or no. So that it still was kind of like a very subliminal answer, or whatever.
Absolutely. It really is just like Xbox is just like, hey, Sony, do you want to play together? Like, that would be really cool. And Sony's just like, bitch, I've been playing with everybody for a while now.
Are you cool enough for this club?
Yeah, it's almost like Sony was like, sure, well, what's your number? We'll call you sometime. And then they never call. It's kind of, it's a terrible metaphor, but that's kind of what it's like. It's a pretty big, it would be a pretty big milestone, just accomplishment if they can work this out and do it, for several different reasons. But, yeah, Sony's been kind of beating around the bush about it. I'm only seeing conversation between Xbox and Sony. I'm not seeing like Nintendo having their hat thrown in the ring or anything like that yet. Nor do I expect to. What?
Because Nintendo's like, what's an internet? Like,
basically. Plus, I mean, a lot of the titles that you would expect this type of thing to really support, Nintendo don't really have on their system anyway. Like, I can see this really supporting the obvious titles like Call of Duty, any of the Call of Duties,
Call of Duty,
sports titles. I mean, you can see this working out for sports titles as well. And these are titles that the Wii U don't see anymore. I mean, I think they got one of the Call of Duties back around Black Ops 2, maybe it was. I'm not sure.
Well, there's a Wii U version of Minecraft now, right?
I think so.
Maybe?
Yeah, like that's a game that I could see benefiting from cross-platform.
Yeah.
Having like multiplayer on that.
Just in general, the games that are the AAA titles that are still getting released cross-platform, which Wii U is not getting a lot of these because like it's just pretty much common knowledge that the Wii U is not a current gen system. Like I know that's very polarizing to Nintendo fans, but when you're looking at specs, no, it isn't. Mm-hmm. And so like you're only seeing Nintendo exclusives that are designed for the Wii U. So like it doesn't really benefit Nintendo in any way, but the cool thing is this, like, this last set of console wars spun me way out of control, like, farther than it should have. Like, I started fucking arguments on Facebook with people and shit.
Started doing drugs.
I started doing drugs. I sucked a dick for, I couldn't think of anything to say, so now it just sounds like I was just...
He just sucked a dick.
I sucked a dick.
He just sucked some
to get
dick.
the bad thoughts out of my mouth. But I became that guy there for a while. I was that guy that I was just like, why don't you understand that the PlayStation 4 is objectively better? But the reason I was like that is because I was trying to rally all my friends to the same console. Because before, during the 360 area, we were all just on 360 because PS3 was kind of just for people that liked PlayStation. Like, there wasn't really any other benefit to that other than, like, Xbox kind of had the market. And so we were all on one console. We had a great time. And this new console cycle really polarized everybody. And I have a whole crew of people that I can't play video games with anymore. And so this is good news for me. Like, if this is something that actually gets implemented, this is incredibly good news for me. Because it's possible to play with my friends again.
Well, completely agreed. And it's a problem that we as Bro Op are running into.
Oh, my God,
Talking about the Division specifically, I know Chase, he has stated that whatever console he gets it on depends solely on who else gets the game. So if this was not a problem, if the cross-platforming was already a thing in play, that would be fine. You can get it for whatever console you want to, and we can still play together. So, I mean, that would benefit us tremendously for our streams and videos and whatnot. So, definitely. I mean, I'm all for it. I have no reason. I can't see any reason for any of the audience to be against it. So
I'll say this much. Back the last time that this was something that was considered, it was something that Call of Duty was considering. I don't know if it was Treyarch or Activision or whatever the fuck, but it was like one of the devs was considering cross-platform, and they did some tests of like console gamers versus PC gamers, and they were like, "There's no way we can do this because PC gamers have an unfair advantage because the keyboard and mouse is just a much more visceral controller with a lot of freedom for like accuracy and things like that, and like just controller players just plain can't keep up." And to me, the reaction is, who gives a shit? Like, let me do it. I'm not a tourney fag here, and forgive my language, but like all I mean is that this is not for competitive play. This is not for tournament play. This is for uniting people. Give me the option to have controller lobbies. Give me the option to have mixed lobbies. That's how GTA handles it. So that's personally how I would go about it. But that's the only complaint I have seen towards this sort of thing.
Yeah. In the past, to y'all's knowledge, I know that there's been some titles that's already did the cross-platforming thing. Specifically, first things that come to my mind is Final Fantasy 11 and Final Fantasy 14. I think Shadowrun, wasn't it possible to play it on Xbox and PC at the same time? Didn't they have like
people played Shadowrun? What?
Yeah, like if it was possible, I can't imagine it lasted long, but yeah, I mean, I think it was that was one of Shadowrun's marketing points, was that you could actually play with PC.
Well, that's
PC and
cool.
Xbox players could play together. So based off that, I mean, it's worked pretty well. I mean, especially with Final Fantasy 14, and Ian, you could probably talk about this more than the rest of us, but I mean, it works really well for the cross-platform between PlayStation and PC, especially with RPG. With an RPG like that.
See, like what he's referring to is the fact that I've been playing. I play a crap ton of Final Fantasy 14, and Amethyst Courtney, she has it on PS4, and I have it on PC, and we play together, and it's really fun because she doesn't have to have a gaming PC to play it, but I do have a gaming PC, so we can still play together. And I think that's really awesome. So it's definitely one of the best advantages to that. So.
Definitely so. And another advantage I could think of, especially with Final Fantasy 14, which this would require buying multiple copies of the game, but like in a situation such as your own, you both already have the game. And so if like the PlayStation, if you were playing on PS4 and it was already tied up for some other reason, you could just hop over to PC.
And we actually, both of us do have both versions of the game. I never play on PS4, but she does occasionally play on PC. So, like, if I'm playing like the Wii U and she wants to play Final Fantasy, she can just jump on my computer and play Final Fantasy. So,
yeah, definitely. So, I mean, that's another advantage I could think of for having it. It's probably not one that's going to get used as much as anything else, but, in certain situations such as your own, it would be beneficial.
Absolutely.
One thing too that I want to sort of like shift to, if it's okay, is like this seems to be a part of Microsoft's agenda to sort of blur the line between PC and Xbox. Like, are you guys seeing this? Because like there was some there was some news. Yeah, Microsoft leaked some nudes of their fucking chat bot that turned into a Nazi in 24 hours. That's a whole different story. There was some news that Microsoft is planning on releasing modular Xbox Ones. Have you heard about this?
I have not. No.
Wait, you talking about like when you say modular Xbox Ones? Like I've heard the news about the potential or the possibility of upgradable systems. Is that what you're speaking about? Okay, yeah, I've heard a little bit about that.
I think this is all part of the plan for Microsoft to sort of jump shift and change focus. Because, like, I didn't really expect this to happen, but, like, whenever the everybody completely just turned on Xbox when the consoles were announced, I didn't actually expect for PlayStation to get ahead in the race. But PlayStation is significantly ahead in the race. And so, like, the higher-up execs in Microsoft keep trying to be like, oh, well, we didn't forget about PC gaming. We are PC gaming. And it's just like, but you totally did. And they're like, nah, son, we're totally going to be open to PC gaming now. And I think they're basically trying to treat the Xbox One as just kind of like a Steam machine. Like, it's just like an affordable gaming device. And they're going to blur the line between what it means to play on an Xbox One and what it means to play on Windows 10. Because the Windows 10 already has like a gaming market where like some of the new Xbox One games that are getting ported to Windows 10 are on that market. And I think it's part of that attempt, which I will be okay with once they optimize it, because many people are complaining that that game, if purchased through Microsoft Store instead of Steam, is limited in the same way as it would be on Xbox One. Yeah. Like it's very chuggy and not very well optimized. Ultimately, I think it could still theoretically be a good thing, though, especially for me, because I'm that guy that refuses to get an Xbox One because I have a gaming PC. So, like, if Xbox One games are eventually going to become playable on my PC, I don't ever have to get an Xbox One. I kind of already have one. Do you guys think that that's where they're going?
That's an interesting way of looking at it. Go ahead with it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I could definitely see that being the way they're going, and I never really thought about it until you mentioned it. But yeah, absolutely, I could see that be the way they're going, because Microsoft does have their finger in both the PC market and the console market, so why not make the two coexist? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what they're up to, and I'm 100% for it. I don't know how exactly they profit from it though, because I don't really know how console profits work. Because if they're selling less consoles, are they really making that more money? Does it have to do with the licensing of the games? Fuck if I know. But I'm pumped for the potential, especially for the potential for multiplayer.
Yeah, it's interesting to me that Microsoft was the first ones to say that they're open to cross-platform, and I don't know how it would benefit them in any way, to be honest with you. But it's interesting to me that they're the ones that open that door, because, I mean, like you said, they are getting beat in the race between them and PS4 currently. And for them to come out and say, well, you know what, we're open to cross-platform, I can't really put the dots, connect the dots like I want to, but it is interesting to me that they were the ones who fired that shot first, trying to unite everything.
I feel like it's almost like a social power move. Like it's like Xbox has done everything they can to be like, nah, dude, we were friends. You remember when we were friends? we used to be bros. Yeah, go ahead, Ian.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I'm kind of seeing what Jesse's saying. That's kind of what I was thinking too. It makes people look at Xbox a little differently by them doing it first. People are gonna be like, oh, well, Xbox is still, they are still cool with with the consumers and whatnot, and everything. And I believe that's actually why Sony responded the way they did. The way Sony responded was, yeah, we've been doing that for a while. Get on board, bro.
That's a good point. I mean, like we mentioned, they didn't say yes or no. They were just kind of like, that's a cool idea. We had that same idea 14 years ago. So yeah, that's a good point. That's a good way of looking at it. I think I feel like it's more of a, well, obviously it's like a business decision and stuff, but, fuck me. I don't really know where I was trying to go with this. But anyway, it's very interesting. I would like to see the day where cross-platforming is a thing. Because it just eliminates the need to try to decide which system to get it on and all that sort of stuff. You can play with your friends. Because, I mean, I got plenty of friends who's on Xbox One now, whereas I have a PS4. and there's games that they want to play with me and vice versa, but we can't because obviously the two different systems. So it would be nice to see that unification one day to where I can finally get online and play with my Xbox friends and whatnot and for certain titles.
It would be nice. Sorry I had to cut you off. It's just I feel like I'm more important right now.
That's understandable, man. We'll talk about this in person later, but go ahead.
It would be nice to I'm sorry, I know this is interrupting stuff. I'm just going to deal with some technical issue. But it would be nice to be able to pick a console based on the merits of the console and not just having to pick a console based on what all my friends are playing on. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's so much of the actual decision is you don't actually really get to decide on what console you want. It's so much peer pressure involved.
Yeah. And I've seen people buy consoles for that reason, specifically the PS4 and Xbox One. I have close friends who have bought consoles for that reason, because that's what everybody else was playing on, and they would turn around and sell it just a couple months later and pick up the other one because that's the one they wanted to begin with. They just went with so, yeah, that's a good point as well. It would help eliminate that. I mean, it would keep them from wasting money because, you don't always get back what you pay for a brand new system, when you turn around to resell it, and just this, that, and the other. So, yeah, I mean, it would eliminate a lot of problems we're identifying right now if the cross-platform became a thing.
Yeah.
So.
All in all, I hope it goes through, even if it's just PC to Xbox One, because that was something I was holding out for with The Division. I know I mentioned that earlier. I'm trying to decide whether or not I'm going to get it or not, and you mentioned it as well, Rhett, is that I was holding out to see if I was going to be able to play with Xbox people from PC. Because if that was the case, like, Chase could go ahead and get on our Xbox, we'd be able to play with and Huffy and Scott and all them, and we'd be one big happy family again. But since that's not likely, if I get it, I'm going to get it on PS4. Because I know we have technical issues on whether or not we could all play it on PC, and PC tends to be full of problems anyway. I hate to rip into the PC master race, but we've all got bad luck. I
feel you. Like, I love PC gaming. I believe PC master race, whatnot. But like, for some reason, when it comes to first-person shooters, I prefer them on console. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just
and I completely respect that. I totally do. Yeah. And then to sort of bounce off something that we're seeing in chat from that Hug guy, like, a lot of people make their decisions subjectively. Like, you can bark all day about, PC is objectively better in performance. What you don't understand is not everybody cares. Like some people give more of a shit about interface. They give more shit about branding. People should be entitled to make those decisions in that way. But, I want to be able to play with my friends. Like, all any console developer has to do is to tap into that human need that I have, is to be able to play with my friends.
I think that's basically what it boils down to for everybody. Just be able to play with your friends despite what console you have. So, now obviously that's not going to include your main your console exclusives such as Halo or, what does Sony have that could be cross-platform?
Killzone. We all want to play fucking Killzone.
Yeah. Of course, Uncharted 4 is going to have multiplayer, right?
Multiplayer. Yeah,
but that's not going to be on Xbox, so, yeah, that's the point. Sorry, I got... my brain shut off for a second. But, so yeah, console exclusives obviously won't be included, but Call of Duty, especially, that's going to sell every year. It comes out every single year. People buy it up. There was so much shit talked about Ghost, but yet they're working on a sequel. Because I'm sure, they made plenty of money. And no matter how bad Ghost was, people's going to buy the second one. That's going to be available on all platforms. So, unification. That's all it boils down to, is everybody just wants to play together. And this is, at least this is a step in that direction. Somebody finally came out and said, hey, what about cross-platform? So the door has been opened. So we'll see what happens from here on out.
Mr. Yoshida, tear down this wall.
All right, now to jump into some other news here. The Wii U. It was reported. Let's see, how long ago was it? About a week or two ago when this first.
A week ago.
So, thank you.
It was reported by a Japanese publication. I struggle with how to pronounce this. Nike. Nike.
It was Nike.
Goddamn Nike fucking shoes, and Michael Jordan announced a week ago that the Wii U was dying. No, but Japanese publication, Nikkei, I'm gonna say Nikkei.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, came out, and this is not just some off-the-wall publication, mind you. This is actually a pretty well-known and respected publication in Japan. They report on Nintendo stuff pretty often. So, but they came out and pretty much said that they fully expected the Wii U to cease production by the end of this year, 2016. Just 3 years after it's been released? Is it 3 or 4 years old now?
Probably more like 2.5 weeks. It feels like it's not been out for very long, but yeah, something to that effect.
Yeah. So they came out and said that it's going to cease production. It doesn't catch me by surprise if that is true, just based off some of the numbers. Now Nintendo has since came out and basically said, no, not true. But I'll be honest with you guys, I don't know if I buy it. I don't know if I lean more towards...
I was going to say that if you did. I don't buy it.
Yeah, I lean more towards it ceasing production by the end of the year rather than it continuing, especially with all the talk about the NX. The NX is like in full swing right now, it feels like, with just Nintendo themselves talking about it. So I'm not sure if I buy that or not, as far as it not ceasing production. I mean, you look at the numbers. I've actually got the numbers pulled up here.
Oh, good.
For the units sold. I mean, the Xbox One to date, Xbox One sold about 18 million units. The PlayStation 4 sold about 36 million units. And the fucking Wii has sold 100 million units. The Wii U is sitting at 12.6. So it is quite a bit behind the other two players in the game. And it's not even close to catching up to its previous console. So it's not doing good. Now, that's not to say that the Wii U is a bad system. You guys have more experience with the Wii U than I do. So
yeah, I kind of want to put Heat on the spot for that since he just got one.
Yeah. Fucking Wii U, man. I just got one, and I've always liked the Wii U. The Wii U is a fun party console, but when it boils down to it, that's what the Wii U is. It's a party console, and like, with the fact that it's a party console means that, 4 to 8 people can get enjoyment out of one system.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
not a lot of incentive to get it for just yourself.
Exactly. So I won't say that I'm necessarily surprised by the knowledge that they could stop production of it by the end of the year. I personally think they may continue it past. Mm-hmm. Like when Nintendo said they were going to keep doing it, I'm gonna side with Nintendo for now and say that if they said they're not gonna end it, I don't think they're going to. But it won't be much longer before it is. Mm-hmm. So you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And also, I'm also like sad because Star Fox comes out next month, and that's like the main thing I even got the Wii U for. But that's a different stuff.
You should be sad because that at least you get to still fulfill your reason there. So.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like when somebody calls you out on the death of your console, you don't say, "No, yeah, totally." There's no way they could say that, because if you're gonna say, "Yeah, we're ending the Wii U at the end of the year," nobody has any incentive to buy a Wii U. Yeah. I feel like if you're in business, you don't openly say anything like that until game time.
Yeah, it would fucking hurt your sales. I mean, like you said, nobody would buy one anymore, so just hold out for the next one.
Don't set the date for your own funeral.
Basically.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that makes plenty of sense. Plus, I mean, there's rumors swirling around that the NX could launch as soon as this holiday season. Now, that I don't believe, but I have no problem believing a 2017 release for the NX, especially with how much is being talked about it lately. We thought we had a leaked photo of the controller the other day, but that's since been debunked. But I mean, they definitely have a design, everything in place, and it's being talked about among the media and whatnot. The NX is. I don't know if you guys remember, Jesse. I don't know if you remember this, but I actually mentioned something a couple of years ago about Nintendo already working on a new system. And at the time, it was codenamed Fusion. But
okay, yeah, I don't remember this, but it doesn't surprise me to hear.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, they've been working on a new system. They've had plans to make a new system for a while now. I think the Wii U fell behind in sales and whatnot rather quickly for this new race between Xbox One and PS4. And I think they went ahead and just set the wheels in motion for their next plan. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Now, I still would love to have a Wii U for myself. I have plenty of reason to go get one. I just haven't done so yet. But there's plenty of titles I would love to play on the Wii U, especially like Star Fox, like Ian mentioned. The
I'm so ready.
Twilight Princess HD remake, I would love to play. Hyrule Warriors, which I can actually get that for my 3DS now, so that's fine. Never mind, I'm not too worried about that. But Smash, well, I can get that for my 3DS as well. Fuck, I got a 3DS, so I'm good. Basically is what this boils down to.
Who needs a Wii, right?
Who needs a Wii U when you can just get a 3DS and play the same shit?
See, I'm glad you said that. Yeah, and Ian, I think you're about to say the same thing.
I don't know if I'm going to say the exact same thing you're about to say, but I was going to say, and that was the Wii U's issue, was there was not enough to differentiate it really from the regular Wii, and pretty much everything that was of interest on the Wii U, you can get on your 3DS. And
yes, exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
The Wii U is a console version of the 3DS, and to me, that's exactly why the PSP and Vita both failed, is because they're just handheld versions of a console. They're not actually unique and different in their own way. Like when you have the option to buy the same game on two different systems, you're gonna go with the one that's the most practical for you. Like touch based, drawing based games make more sense on the 3DS because they've already been on there for a while, and that's what you wanted on. And then like traditional console style games, nobody wants to spend the time playing that on a handheld, so that's why the PSP failed. So whatever Nintendo does next needs to be very distinct. Like it needs to give you incentive to actually get something on there. If they're not going with an actual system that's up to par performance-wise, which the rumors I'm hearing is no, they're still going with withered technology, it still needs to be distinct in its own way. So,
yeah.
I mean, not to mention, the 3DS. The 3DS is a cheaper option over the Wii U, and then the games that come out for the 3DS are generally $10 to $20 cheaper than the console version. So, I mean, that just kind of goes back hand in hand for what you were saying. Why get the Wii U? Why spend the money on the Wii U when you can just get the 3DS for cheaper and still have the same experience, so to speak? For some of the games, anyway. So,
yeah, I see now like a good difference there being Star Fox again. It's not coming out on 3DS. The only DS Star Fox game that they ever put out, I hated. So like,
yeah, and I had it. It had potential, but you're right. It wasn't necessarily equivalent to a console experience. So that's going to probably be pretty good.
Yeah.
Now I will say, if I ever get the chance to get a sweet deal on a Wii U, I'm probably still going to do it, unless something happens between now and then. I still have intention of getting a Wii U because, like I said, there's stuff I still would like to play on it.
Absolutely, and that's the only reason why we ended up getting a Wii U. Courtney works for a place that sells video games, and they were having a employee appreciation day where they were selling everything. Where they could get every employee could get 3 things for 50% off. And we got a Wii U, a used Wii U for 50% off. So yeah, it was nice.
I mean, we got them at the store. We got them at my store that I store manage a video game store, and we got them there at a pretty decent price. It's just a little over $200 for a used Wii U, the 32 gigabyte model at that. So if that ever drops to below 200, I'll probably go ahead and pick it up because that's a good deal. And another thing you have to consider though with the NX is Nintendo's been pretty reliable in terms of backwards compatibility. Pretty much all the systems they've had the last few generations has had backwards compatibility to the system before it. But it wouldn't shock me, just to be honest with you, it wouldn't shock me if the NX doesn't have any kind of backwards compatibility with the Wii U.
Oh, really?
I mean, it wouldn't shock me if it didn't, but then again, you know as well as anybody about the hardware staying pretty similar between the last couple of systems. So,
well, it's interesting that you mentioned that because if they do what I think they need to do, which is go with something completely different and stop making your fans go, why do I need that when it's basically the same thing as the previous console? Like, so if they do something that is distinct in its own way, then it won't be able to be backwards compatible because you won't have a screen-based controller. But the rumors I'm hearing is that the controller is kind of like a smaller version of the Wii U tablet. But I know the controller that we saw that was leaked wasn't real, but like if any of that speculation is true, then I'm sort of anticipating this next thing to be like the Super Wii U, which goddamn if that's the name. But like I just want to get the word Wii out of the title. Can we move on with our lives here?
And I actually want to refer to something Fartouche said, and Chase pointed it out as well on the chat. And the Wii U was a very gimmicky system, and I don't feel like they utilized the gimmick enough.
You're right.
Like Pokemon Snap would be a fantastic game for the Wii U. Like, you use the fucking gamepad as a camera, and you can take pictures of Pokemon. I mean, come on.
But in the same vein, that's also a concept that would work just as well on the 3DS.
Right.
That's true. That's true. I mean, they're playing with similar technology between their handheld and their console. So I mean, that is a problem, you know. But if they don't make the next system backwards compatible, it does give me some incentive to go ahead and pick up a Wii U regardless, because there are titles I would love to play on the Wii U that are available right now. What little I've played of the Wii U, I've had fun doing so. I just haven't actually went out and picked one up yet. Although, like Ian said when we started this topic, it is a party console. It's more fun with more people. I mean, that's I can't say the same thing about PS4, because the PS4 I just want to sit down and play by myself most of the time, unless I'm doing online play. But you know, you get like some Smash Brothers or something like that. I mean, that's Mario Kart. You know, that's party games. That's fun in a group. So
Absolutely. That's the main reason we got Mario Kart as one of our first games.
Yeah. So a lot still remains to be seen. But I'm going to call it right now. I expect the Wii U to discontinue by the end of this year, if not very early next year.
Yeah, and I do agree. I feel like them denying it was just a business move to keep people buying them all the way up until the end of the year.
Exactly.
I will stick with what I said. I don't believe that it will be at the end of this year. I won't be surprised if it is, but I don't believe it will be. But I could see it being early next year.
Yeah.
I don't see them, especially even if they come out with the NX. I don't see them not having the two consoles during Christmas time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, other companies have done that. I mean, the PS2 was in production up until, I think it was in production up until, they were still making games until 2012.
Don't get me fucking started on that shit. Goddamn.
Yeah. So
that was
PS2.
so fucking stupid.
So PS2. But, you know, Xbox 360 is doing the same thing. And this is kind of derailing a little bit, but also kind of, you know, still falls in the same category. Some games that they keep doing that with, when they release it for both the previous console and the newest one, the previous version suffers greatly. Take Black Ops 3, for example. I don't know if you guys have paid that much attention to it. Excuse me. But we have so many copies of Black Ops 3 for the 360 and the PS3 at my store right now, because people picked it up, not realizing that the 360 and the PS3 versions only contained online multiplayer and one map of zombies. There is not a single player campaign at all in the PS3 or Xbox 360 version. To get the full game, you basically have to purchase the PS4 or Xbox One game. So a lot of people picked it up, not realizing that, and then immediately traded it into our store because it's just an online, it's just the online experience, which to me wouldn't make that much of a difference, because in my experience of playing Call of Duty anyway, I mostly spend it online in the online multiplayer. But still, my point is, when you keep two consoles in production alongside each other and you're releasing games for both of them, the previous version is going to suffer, you know, so.
Or in the case of when PS2 is still running, the newer version suffers because they're not designing these games to be next-gen games. They're designing these games to be games that can run on the lowest common denominator. Yeah. And they barely have some like brush up. Now, what you're talking about is a relatively new thing to me, but it's still, somebody's going to suffer. Like, ultimately, it's like somebody's going to get a version of the product that's not quite up to par.
Yeah, and then you're going to see, like, PlayStation's done already with, like, Last of Us and God of War and stuff like that. You're going to see the old titles get, quote-unquote, remastered and re-released on the next console, you know. So, you're right, it's a two-way street. Either the previous console or the previous console version just isn't worth picking up because it's so stripped down, or you could just wait and get the remastered and complete edition, you know, for the new console. So, me personally, if this happens, I would rather them just honestly stop production of the Wii U and then start up with the NX. That way, that's me personally. I just think that's a better way to go about it. But the Wii U's not selling like they expected it to. Definitely not doing as well as the Wii was. So it feels like to me we're in the last days of the Wii U. Like we're counting down. The timer's counting down at this point to the end of the year. So, and for those of you who just recently picked up a Wii U, cough in, you know, enjoy it while you have it, because it may be a thing of the past before you know it. So, All right. Well, moving on to another Nintendo property. I had some more details about Pokemon Go surfaced recently, and let me just start off, guys. I'm super excited about Pokemon Go. Way more excited now that I actually have a phone that will be able to run Pokemon Go, because when they first announced it, I was still rocking.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and you're in the same boat as I am. When they first announced Pokemon Go, I had the shitty-ass old Galaxy S3, barely could run itself because of all the new updates and everything like that. So it was hard for me to get pumped about it, because I was like, man, I can't play it if it comes out right now anyway. But now I have, I've since upgraded my phone, so I have a phone that can run it. And based off what I've seen the last few days, I'm even more excited about it, because it just looks like a fun new Pokemon experience to me. And they've came out with some details about what the game's going to consist of. There were some, I guess you could say leaked. There was some official and then some leaked footage of how the game actually looks and different stuff. Like I seen the video of somebody catching an Ivysaur and some different stuff like that. Before we get into the details, I mean, this is something you guys are pretty pumped about, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Excellent.
Ian, do you want to go ahead and talk first?
Yeah, I can. I'm extremely excited about Pokemon Go. To the point where, like, me and a lot of my coworkers, cause I work with a bunch of like really nerdy guys, and it's awesome. But we talked about, like, jokingly have talked about like pitching together to get like a Jeep and painting the Jeep red with a black line and then white, and it'd be like the Pokemobile. And then on days that we like have a big group message, on days when we're not working, be like, "Hey guys, y'all off? Yeah, all right, jump in. We'll go Pokemon hunting." Like,
I hadn't thought about it like
so
that.
Fun, though.
It does. It sounds like something I want to do. Let's go search for some Pokemon. You guys ready? Let's go.
It's interesting how it works out, because like I'm 100% down for the concept. I think it's really cool, and I think it adds a lot to just being out and about in the world and like exploring in real life. I know anything I really have to say about it are things that I have said in previous podcasts, because I've just been itching to talk about this damn game. But like I really like the concept of using augmented reality and using like GPS data to basically make a real life version of this sort of thing. But I know that some people were concerned that it wasn't going to have battling in it, because like in all the screens and shit that they'd seen, there was no actual battle system. And if you, I went ahead and linked it for the fans in chat, but if you look at what they've shown, like there isn't really a battle system displayed, and it kind of makes it look like you just catch Pokemon by like throwing Pokeballs at them, or maybe other things, kind of like a Safari Zone type thing. But they actually addressed that concern right here in the article. They're like, yes, there will be battles. Which I'm glad to hear, because I think I would have still enjoyed this game if it was just collecting. Like, honestly, if they had dropped the ball and been like, no, I'm sorry, there's no battles, I would still be pretty excited. Yeah. But it's cool to hear that there is actually still going to be a battle component to it.
Have y'all seen the details about the gyms for this game?
I'm looking at some of it right now, and I read over it earlier, but Rhett, if you want to go ahead and fill in our fans on that.
Well, all I've got, I got some show notes wrote down for Pokemon Go based off the details that's been released. And the information they have for the gym so far is that players will actually be encouraged to join one of 3 teams and engage in gym battles with other teams. And once they've joined a team, players will have the ability to assign their Pokemon to empty gyms. Gyms will actually be able to be found at real locations in the world, so you can just basically stumble upon a gym. It sounds like you're just going to walk up to a building and think, oh, this is actually a gym. So that's kind of neat, like, based off what I'm
Pokemon geocaching in a weird way.
Yeah, it is, absolutely.
Yeah. And then, so once you find the gym, one Pokemon per player can be placed at any given gym. Team members will need to work together to build a strong defense, and a gym claimed by one team can be challenged by other 2 teams. And that's all the information I have about it. It doesn't really fill in all the blanks there, but it seems pretty cool, because it's like a joint effort. It seems like a collaborative effort between people. Like, you claim a gym, and you guys are like the gym leaders, and you have to hold down the fort while other people are trying to challenge your gym. That's pretty cool, so far. So, Yeah, that's all the information that I've been able to find as far as gym battles. But not only are there going to be battles, I mean, you have the gyms are getting implemented into the game as well. So that's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty interesting to me. And then on top of that, I really like just sort of imagining like the implications of what all could be done with this. For example, I know a lot of people are really concerned about how they're going to monetize this. Have you guys put a lot of thought into that?
I hadn't really thought about it at all, to be honest with you.
Well,
I could see them maybe like.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. I could see them maybe like having certain like Pokeballs and stuff like that. Like on sale. Like, you want a Master Ball? Give us $20. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and to be honest, a lot of people were bitching about that. A lot of people were like, "Oh, don't let them ruin this by charging for Pokeballs." And I'm like, "Bitch, how do you expect them to make money?"
yeah.
Like, I think that's a perfect idea because here's exactly how I imagine it working. The same way every fucking else thing works. Like, you get so many units of play per day, and you can either just play on that or you can buy more. And I imagine it will be Pokeballs. Mm-hmm. I imagine you'll probably get so many free Pokeballs a day, and then you can pay for more or you can pay for better Pokeballs with real money and maybe items and shit like that. But if you don't want to pay, you don't fucking have to pay, and you just go with the Pokeballs that you're given in a day. Mm-hmm. And I imagine that that's exactly how I'll play, because like I don't always have time for shit. I've wound up playing kind of more like a casual gamer, and I would be content with that. But I know that I would probably pay for some more every now and then. Like, let's say, for example, I'm out in the world and I stumble across an Articuno. Like, we don't know how that shit's gonna work. What if we know that, like, rare Pokemon, it's just like, yeah, this shit's not gonna be here tomorrow. Like, like, you might want to get this today. That would be a great way to trick my silly ass into being like, okay, $5 for a Ultra Ball. I'll do it. Just let me do this shit right now.
Yeah.
Like, and I would probably do it, and I would honestly not put them at fault for that. That's a good business model.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I don't necessarily think that's pay to win. You go ahead.
I was going to say, I have some information on the Pokeballs themselves. Now, I have no doubt that they're going to implement a pay for Pokeball system. You know, if you don't have Pokeballs on you and you need some right then and there, you can actually just get on and just buy like Pokeballs, Great Balls, Master Balls, whatever. So I have no doubt that's going to happen. Now, they are setting up something called Pokestops. And this works a lot like the gyms do. Pokestops are just located at basically unique places such as public, like museums, historical markers, monuments, things like that. You can actually stumble upon a Pokestop, and you can pick up Pokeballs there. Now, I don't know if you have to pay for them or if you just get rewarded them because you discovered this location or what, but I know you can pick up Pokeballs and actually Pokemon eggs at the Pokestops. Yeah, so it kind of gives you an incentive or it gives you a reason to kind of explore your town, explore your surroundings as much as you can, especially if you visit somewhere. You maybe go on a walk downtown or something just to see what you stumble upon, because you can actually maybe stumble upon a gym, or you can stumble upon a Pokestop and restock on Pokeballs, maybe get you a Pokemon egg or whatever. And another interesting thing about Pokemon eggs is they hatch exactly the same way in Pokemon Go as they do in the games. They hatch after you take a certain amount of steps.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome. Which, I mean, it's a no-brainer to me. Like,
if I just drive back and forth down my street and just like, it's actually got to be steps.
People are like, "What's that guy doing?"
I don't know. That's a good question, Jesse. I don't know if it's gonna calculate like the distance traveled or the actual amount of steps, like the Pokewalker did. You know, so
yeah, who knows?
I feel like it will probably be steps because like for example, with me upgrading my phone, I've got one of those Samsung watches now, and it keeps track with my amount of steps I do, and I do like 7,000 steps in a day at work. Like, and if it doesn't take that in, I'm gonna be pretty pissed. Like,
yeah. Just based off what I've seen, they've got this pretty well thought out, a little bit more than I expected them to. Because when it first got announced, I was like, oh, cool, I can just, use AR to find Pokemon just, out and about, and I can catch them and train them or whatever. Just kind of like a more interactive Tamagotchi type ordeal. And I was excited about that, but they've put some more information or put some more thought into it than what I expected. We've already talked about the Pokeballs, the Pokestops, the gyms, that sort of stuff. The way you actually evolve Pokemon in this game is interesting because some Pokemon will actually be able to evolve after you catch, if it's caught on multiple occasions. So you may have to if I catch a Squirtle and I want a War Turtle, I may have to go catch 7 or 8 Squirtles before it actually evolves. You see what I'm saying? So if you're not actually battling somebody, which I'm not sure if you can be able to evolve them through battle. I haven't found any information on that yet. But that is one way to evolve some Pokemon, is just catch them on multiple occasions. And that's kind of interesting, it gives you an extra, because if you're not battling anybody, nobody else is playing around you, whatever, it still gives you a way to progress,
Right.
So
and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like it too. So what else do we have here? That was actually pretty awesome.
I don't know. Real quick. I don't know if Pokemon, I doubt Pokemon Go will ever get as big as this, as I'm about to say. But I saw a comic, a long time ago, back when they first announced Pokemon Go, but I saw it again today, actually. And it was this guy, drinking at a bar, and a guy next to him was like, hey man, that girl keeps staring at you, I think she's into you. And if you look closely, you can see the little wristbands on both the guy and the girl, and the guy's just like, no, she's not into me. She wants a Pokemon battle! And the DJ presses a button on his, on his turntable, and the light comes out and shit. And I'm just like, holy shit, that would be the coolest thing.
Yeah, you're just in a random place, and like a club or something, and you just get sucked into a Pokemon battle, much like you would in a video game. You see somebody, you're like, hey,
it would be awesome.
Hey, fucker, let's see what you fucking got.
Well, see what you're packing.
You think you could take down this level 8 Weedle? I don't think you got it in you. Come on. Yeah, so that would be actually pretty interesting. You also have a trainer level. That's been confirmed, is that there's going to be a trainer level that will increase as you progress through the game. And one way your trainer level actually comes into play is, the higher your trainer level is, the more powerful Pokemon you're going to be able to find.
Ooh.
Yeah, so
that makes sense considering there's not an actual linear progression through a map.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I hadn't even thought of that. That is cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
they've really put some thought into this, more than you would expect from the get-go. So yeah, don't expect to just load this game up and run outside and be like, fuck yeah, let's go find Gyarados and Dragonauts. They're probably around here somewhere. You're probably going to see that from the get-go. You're probably going to run into some bullshit Pokemon. Well, I don't want to say bullshit Pokemon, but, some weaker Pokemon like Weedle and Pidgey and stuff like that, much like you would in the actual game. And then as you progress, you'll start running into second evolved forms, and you start, I just wonder about legendaries. What the fuck do you have to do to start finding legendary Pokemon?
Well, in one of the commercials, we've seen a commercial where there's one at Madison, not Madison Square, but there's one in New York, and hundreds of people go to get it. Have you ever seen that commercial?
I haven't seen it
Yeah,
yet.
I have. It looked really cool.
Yeah, there's.
It was like a raid.
Oh wait,
Yeah,
that was
it was
one of the
there was-
launch commercials, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it now. Yeah.
And everyone's like, holy shit, it's here. You see these hundreds of people running through New York, and then there's a Mewtwo floating up there, and they're like, let's get it, and they all start going
forgot
after
about
it.
Yeah, I
that.
think that would be badass if that's how it actually works.
Yeah.
And then old Super 64 had a question for us. Do we know if there are starters?
That is a good question.
Yeah,
I don't know, because
I
I've
haven't
seen
seen anything about actually picking one. I don't
well,
know
as
how
far
that works.
as the traditional starting Pokemon are concerned, I mean, I have seen video and screenshots of them trying to catch a Squirtle and an Ivysaur. Now, Ivysaur obviously is evolved, but I have seen the starting Pokemon out in the wild in these in some of the video and footage I've seen.
I have another question. This is kind of changing subject a little bit, but all we've seen up until now is the first 151 Pokemon. We've not seen anything past that.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think it's going to be released in waves or what?
That's
I
another
think that
thing
would
I
be
was.
Another way to squeeze money out of me.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, to be honest, yeah, that they would get my dollar, for that reason.
Yeah.
But that was something I
would go
was.
ahead and automatically unlock gold up to gold. Sorry for talking over you, but yeah, that's what I would do if it was already available.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. That was something I was wondering about, what Pokemon are actually going to be available. Me personally, I think you should do it that way. do it in waves by generation. Do the first generation. Maybe it's kind of like an expansion pack of sorts. Let them play around.
To preserve interest over time.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the way.
And then release generations 7 is the newest generation that's about to come out, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I lose track.
Well, release it with the games or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Who knows?
Oh yeah,
and that brings me to a question that I've probably asked before. Go ahead, Rhett.
I was just gonna say, that's another. I hadn't thought about this yet. That's another thing they can do, like pre-orders and stuff. They can give you a special Pokemon Go reward of some sort. So yeah, I mean, I don't see this thing dying out. A lot of people are really excited about it, so I can see them capitalizing on it pretty much in any way they feel they can. So, but that was all I was going to say about that. What were you about to say, Jesse?
All I was going to say was something I've said before, which is I wonder what sort of integration there will be between Pokemon Go and the newest actual 3DS games.
Yeah, I think there will be. I really do. I feel like there will be a way to trade between them. But
and maybe not between them, but I feel like I should at least be able to put my Pokemon Go Pokemon in the 3DS game, and maybe not the other way.
Yeah. Because, I mean...
But, yeah.
You're actually training these Pokemon. You're going to train them up to whatever level they get to and everything. So I feel like they're legitimate Pokemon that could be put in the games and used for, battling and whatnot. So yeah, that would be awesome. Hell, I would be super excited about that because I'm the kind of guy who plays Pokemon and I get my main team. I use the same Pokemon in every game. I might swap out one or two here and there, but for example, I will always have a Blastoise. We talked about this in the last episode. Blastoise will always be on my team. So if I could swap him between games, play with him in game, and then put him in my pocket and play with him, quote unquote, in real life, that would be super awesome. So, yeah, maybe they'll have a system like that put into place. But they hadn't said nothing about it yet, so we're still waiting and seeing. But I'm trying to think, was there anything else that was revealed that's worth talking about? Either way, I'm super stoked. I was stoked to begin with, and I'm way more stoked now that I have a phone that will run it, and that they've revealed some more information on it and whatnot. So, let's see. Of course, there's going to be challenges and stuff as well. I think there's going to be some kind of daily challenge you could do. Another thing about it is they're keeping Pokemon. You're going to find Pokemon kind of in areas that's relevant to them. That's kind of native to them. So water type Pokemon, you're going to find kind of close to the water, different stuff like that. That kind of concerns me in one way though, because what if I want a fire type? Where do I have to go to get a fire type Pokemon? And you said Articuno earlier. Do I have to go to fucking Colorado to get an Articuno? And then there was a picture. I don't know if you guys saw this, but there was an advertisement for Pokemon Go where this skydiver was finding a Dragonite. I'm just like, it's just what the fuck do I have to do?
Dude, could you imagine the extremes though?
Yeah,
all right, Volcarona, I'm gonna get you. I traveled all the way to Hawaii to dig into a volcano just to fight you.
Well, I'm glad that you guys brought that up because on the one hand, I don't necessarily want them to be that hard to get, but on the other hand, I do want them to be somewhat contextual. I don't necessarily want it to not matter where I am at all. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Especially if you're on vacation or something. You're in a part of the world that you're never in regularly. It would be cool to find hey, a unique kind of rare Pokemon to that area that your friends back home won't be able to get. So that would be pretty awesome.
I was actually about to say earlier, I think this would be a bit excessive, but make it where whatever region you start out in, whatever region of the world you started out in, you had the first 150, and going to other regions in the world to have the other region Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. That would be interesting, but
it would be interesting, but I think it'd be too excessive.
I agree. Interesting, but excessive. So, yeah, I think you need to make it a little bit more attainable than that, accessible than that. But that would still be a neat idea.
Real quick, I was going to say, going back to the whole Pokemon being in a specific place based on what they are, it reminds me of another comic I saw where this guy was talking to the Pope, and the Pope was like, "So why'd you break into the Vatican?" And the guy was just like, "Because there's an Arceus in here." and the Pope's just like, "Say no more, I'm getting my phone."
Well, Arceus is a great example, which will be sometime before we get to him, but how the fuck Like Celebi, for that matter. Let's talk Gen 2. Do I have to find a shrine in a park? Well, how do I get my Celebi? So it's going to be interesting to see how they make certain Pokemon obtainable. God, if I can just get my Squirtle, I'll be happy. So, I just feel like you guys remember when the Pokewalker came out for Heart Gold, and Soul Silver? I mean, I was one of those people in my 20s walking around with this thing like on my shoe so I could level up Pokemon. I'm going to be the same way, if not more ecstatic than that. So, I'm super pumped. It's shit. A lot of good Pokemon stuff coming out. We talked about Sun and Moon last episode, and then Pokemon Go's coming out soon. When is Pokemon Go supposed to get? Later this year, right? It's kind of the speculated date.
Yeah, I don't know if they have an official release date, but yeah, sometime around when it comes out.
Pokemon Go release.
Yeah, let's just.
Google straight up says 2016.
Hell yes.
Like that's the answer.
Okay, yeah, so sometime.
Yeah, my body is ready. Was there anything else you guys wanted to throw in about the Pokemon Go?
No, other than I'm pumped to play it. I'm pumped for the new 3DS game as well. I think
the new or the nude.
The nude 3DS game. Oh my god, dude! Yeah, please, please.
Awesome.
No, actually, I'm starting to feel more and more uncomfortable when I remember that none of the characters in those games are over like the age of 13. So,
hey, Black and White had like a 15-year-old antagonist.
But no, I'm pumped. I'm excited to hear more about the actual handheld games. But I'm gonna be that guy as soon as it comes out. That's fiddle dicking around on my phone 100% of the time because I'm playing Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna lose my job because they're gonna be like, "Ian, why were you not doing security?" And I'm like, "There was a fucking Pachirisu in the toilets in the bathroom. I had to go get it."
And you're just over there with your phone going, "What are you doing in here, little buddy?"
That's when your manager or boss is like, "Did you get it?" And you're like, "Well, no, it was gone by the time I got there." And he's like, "That's because I got it. You're fired."
You're fired.
It's like, I've already got him. He's in my phone. Get out. Clock out for the last time. But yeah, we're all super huge Pokemon fans. Have been majority of our lives, and I probably will be forever. So, anything new about Pokemon, Sun and Moon, Pokemon Go, what have you, you can expect us to talk about at some point on this show. And hell, we'll probably start streaming some of it later on down the road, like when the new stuff comes out. We've already been streaming. We actually need to get back to that at some point, Ian. But we've streamed a little bit.
You remember what happened to me, right?
Well, yeah, but we can start a new generation. We can start Ruby and Sapphire if you wanted to. Something.
We could.
Yeah. So we've already streamed a little bit of Pokemon. Did some kind of versus top thing. And we love Pokemon. So we'll talk about it on this channel, no doubt. All right. Well, guys, just the three. We were a man short, but just between the three of us, we've took up almost an hour already. Talking about things, so I feel like it's a good point to go ahead and wrap this episode up. We'll go ahead and end out with how you can keep in touch with us. Ian, starting with you, how can if people give a shit, how can they keep up with you?
They don't. No one gives a shit. But if they did,
agreed.
They could go to Facebook.com/fightonforjustice. That is my Facebook. I have been updating it a little bit more than I used to, so I'll do that. Mm-hmm. I also have a Twitter. I don't remember what it is. Just look for like Justice Gaming. It's something like that.
Great.
We are the
pinnacle of professionalism here at Bro Up. So is that it, Ian? Is that all you got?
That's about it. Yeah.
Fuck yes, Jesse. If anybody gives a shit, how can they keep up with
at Justice Gaming 75?
Yeah, your moment's already over, Jesse. How can people keep up with you?
On Twitter? On Twitter, I am Mr. jGatzB, so MrJGATZB. And then on Facebook, I'm also Mr. jGatzB. So let's see, that is there. And then let's see, that's for the most part, yeah, because I've got the Twitch channel. You can see me on there, never, but I've got it, and there's a link to that below as well.
Excellent. I didn't think about this beforehand, but since Chase isn't joining us, it would have been nice if I had his information readily available. That being said, I don't think Chase really has anything outside of the actual official Bro Up stuff that he stays real active with right now.
Yeah.
So you can find his information attached to the description of this podcast and whatnot if you want to keep up with them. Chase, I apologize, but I think I don't think you care too much currently, so well, whatever. As for myself, you can keep up with me, first and foremost on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Tenseiken cosplay. If you don't know how to spell Tenseiken by now, figure it out. I'm also on Twitter at...
If you don't know how to say it by now, please don't try.
Tenseiken. From Grandia 2. I'm also on Twitter at I am Tenseiken. What else am I on? I'm at Twitch, twitch.tv/IamTenseiken. I've been saying every episode since we started this thing, I plan on getting active on Twitch. That's still a thing. Like I mentioned earlier, we're going to be moving, so my internet's kind of shitty where I'm at right now, so that probably won't really swing into effect until we get moved and get better internet. That being said, I'm also going to be active on the Bro Up channels a lot too, so. And then I just started Instagram. I got back on Instagram. Instagram's just getting big again. I didn't realize it was as big as what it was, but I am on Instagram at I am Tenseiken. So everything's literally I am Tenseiken except for my Facebook, which is Tenseiken Cosplay. So you keep up with me there. As far as Bro Up, Jesse, I feel like you're the better, you probably know this information better than we do. How can people keep up with us?
Okay, so Bro Up, I'm going to go ahead and hit the links. So we got a Twitter. That is, twitter.com/BroUpGames. We got a Facebook, and the URL works correctly now. That Facebook is facebook.com/bro_up_games. And we have that old there, YouTube. That one is youtube.com/user/BroUpGames. Check all of those out. I have currently forgotten the URL for our Amazon store where we sell used dildos, but you can usually find that at amazon.com/broopsuseddildos, amazonstore.amazon.com.
Yeah, we'll get that.
You said you forgot it, and then you proceeded to say it.
I forgot for a second. I'm allowed to remember things.
I was going to say, we'll get that URL and we'll tweet it out to you guys, but you heard it here first. Jesse's he's on top of that, both figuratively and literally. No, just kidding. But, yep, so that's how you can keep up with us. Remember, guys, chat back in with us next week, because we're going to have a full-on discussion about Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, Deadpool Season 2, and we'll talk about the Spider-Man outfit from...
Season 2?
Deadpool?
Holy shit, Daredevil Season 2. God damn, I thought I was reeling it off so smoothly, too. Yeah, we've already talked about Deadpool. Deadpool's a thing of the past. We're going to talk about Batman vs. Superman. We're going to talk about Season 2 of Daredevil, The Man Without Fear. And then we'll also give our thoughts on the new Spider-Man outfit from Captain America Civil War. So we'll go, this time next week, we'll be talking about that. Chase will be back with us. It'll be a full group discussion like usual. So be sure to check back, with that. Ian, you got something you want to say?
I was going to say, it may be like too early to call this, but next week's episode may be a little bit longer too, because I'm just saying, me and Rhett talked about Batman vs. Superman for like an hour and a half last night. So yeah,
it's either going to be longer
I think
or
it'll work out.
Yeah, it'll either be longer or we might make a bonus episode to continue the discussion, but we'll get it figured out one way or the other. Preferably, I'd like to get the whole thing discussed next week, so more likely it'll be longer, but we'll see. We'll cross that bridge as we come to it. Other than that, thank you guys for joining us for this episode of Bro Op Radio. As always, we appreciate the support. Give us your feedback on what you thought about the show, what you think about the brand, where we can fucking shove it. Just tell us tell us everything. Until next time,
also, one more thing. If this is your first time watching, make sure you, if you liked us, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. That'd be great.
Absolutely. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell your friends. Check out our YouTube. Got a lot of cool shit on YouTube. And stay in touch with us. We're cool people. We like to hang out. Honest to God.
We really.
So, thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Adios, guys.
Easy,